Hi, everybody. Welcome into I Ching Mashup with Michelle and Lisa. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Michelle. How are you today, Lisa?
So good. I so much enjoyed our pre-chat. I felt well, that was my weekly therapy. And I
Yes.
got to see you this week. That's
In
crazy.
person. That was so awesome. I know. It was a quick trip, but I was there and it was great.
Yeah. No one will ever believe because we didn't even take a picture.
I know we never do. What's our problem?
I don't know. Maybe we're not meant to.
Maybe I'm not a very good. I always tell my husband I need to hire a photographer to follow me around all the time because I'm not. I'm really good at taking pictures of like nature, of
Mhm.
sunsets and water and trees and grandkids. I'm not
It
good
just
at
takes
taking.
us out of it takes us out of the moment.
It
And
does.
yeah, and just background information. I had taken my son Benjamin with me to meet Michelle, and he was just having a day. He was so
He
tired.
was crabby.
Yeah, and that's so not like him. But just before I saw you, also, related to this topic, is I drove him by a house that I previously owned very
Uh-huh.
slowly, drove by the house, and I was like, there's the house. And he's like, I don't see it. And I'm like, it's right there. And he's like, I don't see it. So I drove by again, and I'm like, there it is out this window. And he's
And
like, I
he
don't
still
see
didn't
it.
see it. Then
So,
that set
like,
him off.
yeah, and that set him off. But I think there's just some things that aren't meant to be seen or done. Like maybe we just weren't meant to, like,
See it. Yeah.
take a,
Take a
yeah,
picture.
take a
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
But, um, but yeah, so that's interesting. But we are doing our higher self imagery with Cheryl. That's going to be amazing.
I know. I haven't sent her any pictures yet. I haven't had time. I
Yeah,
will though. I need to
you
work
will.
on it.
You will.
I have
You have
all
to.
day tomorrow is free and I'm not letting anybody distract me. And that's one of my things I'm getting done.
So one of the things about the highest self imagery that you do with her, it has to be very intentional. It's not, she can just go to Instagram or Facebook or whatever and scrub and take your pictures from that. But I think if you infuse it with great intention, like maybe you work with your AI bot that you create and,
Hmm.
say like which of these pictures, you can screenshot all your pictures, would be great
Hmm.
for this section to communicate,
Yeah.
whatever quality it is that you need. And then she's working with a well-intentioned assortment. And I just think
Hmm.
that like process in itself is really strong.
Yes.
So that'll
Yes.
be fun.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. Yes. And maybe I will tell my Aurora, my AI bot, what I'm
Yeah.
doing. But yeah.
Well, I love
Um,
our question for today because
mhm.
it encapsulates everything that we were talking about personally in our pre-chat very well. And we started talking about it last week, but the basket in the sky.
Yeah, I have it up. So Lisa and I are not astrologers, but we do understand that energy is real and everything is made of energy. And sometimes really big things like planets have an effect on especially kind of sensitive people. Anyway, we're talking about this Barbault basket, Barbault basket. He was an astronomer who studied like planets who moved real slow, like outer planets that moved slow. And so it doesn't even say, I haven't found yet what year he discovered this, but he said this July between the 15th and the 24th, there's going to be these four planets that form kind of like a basket shape in the sky. And one is Pluto, which is in Aquarius. And don't ask me what any of these things mean because I really don't really
Okay.
understand it all. The other one is Jupiter and Leo, and then Uranus and Gemini, and Neptune and Aries. So if you are an Aquarius, Leo, Aries, or Gemini, it's going to affect everyone. It's a collective thing, but these signs are the most affected. So you might want to look into it. Um, but yeah, so it's pretty interesting. And we were just reading some of the themes that go along with this. And this is how we came up with our question. But it's, the themes are going to be creative competence, heart centered leadership, visibility, systems change, collective power, technology, social structures, mental breakthroughs, shift in communications, new ideas, and then spiritual action, values in motion, and courageous compassion. And those themes seem pretty heavy duty. We're
Yeah.
really entering a time of serious change And yeah,
Well, there's, yeah, like, so that's from Sage Goddess, right?
yes.
Um,
Did you shuffle your cards yet?
no, because we didn't say our question,
Mm-hmm.
but I what I was looking up was when did he die? He died during COVID, October of 2019.
Oh, that was
So
before COVID.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
20. Oh yeah, so it was the
that was
fall
right
before
before
COVID. It
COVID.
was the
Yeah,
fall before COVID. Yeah. But
yeah,
he predicted COVID,
yeah.
which made people look to him as if he, like they said, it's not like he has a crystal ball or anything, but these patterns communicate.
Energetic patterns. Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
if we were good astrologists, we would know, like I know a little bit about what each planet's energy is, but not, I don't study it, so I don't know. We would
Mhm.
be able to understand what all these, like how these themes are really coming about. But as
Mhm.
long as we have the general idea, we'll
Yes,
be,
yeah,
we'll be fine because it's collective. That means we don't have to be experts.
yes. Not super specific, but just to
And
be
it's
aware of the patterns and how nature is talking to us.
right. And it's collective for the whole planet because it's affecting the whole planet. It's not just
Yeah.
collective for people who listen to us or people who are those signs. It's collective for everybody.
Yes, yes, yes.
I remember being little growing up. Um, what is that song that this is the dawn? Oh, the Fifth Dimension was a band that sang
Right.
the song "The Dawning of Aquarius," and I used to love that album. My mom and dad had it; and they would play it, and I loved listening to it.
Yeah.
I always wondered what that meant. This might be it. I think we're in that time, and I think this basket thing is starting us off with a bang.
Yeah. That's what he's saying. He said this is an opportunity. So there's a lot of hope here. If we really pay attention, there's so much that we can do to make this all better for
If we
everyone.
focus on the good things, if we
Right.
focus on becoming more connected to our authority and compassionate towards other people, if we focus on all the crap that's going on in the world, that's what we'll get more of. Kind
Yes.
of like our algorithm class talks about. I got one.
Yes.
Oh, there, I got another one.
Did
Okay.
you read the question or did I miss it?
I thought I read it. Maybe I
Oh,
didn't.
I thought we read the
Maybe I
the
read it in my head. Okay, here's the question. What is the underlying lesson or opportunity in the current skies? That's us referring to the Barbault Basket. And
yes.
what concrete next steps will best align our actions with that lesson and help us build the new systems we're called to create?
Ooh, so mine jumped right out. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know now I'm wondering if I should shuffle mine again.
Well, I was just like shuffling just to make sure my deck was fresh. A few like random cards jumped out. But they're quite different from what I got when you read the question.
All right, I'm going to do mine real quick. I'll do mine again real quick. We'll see if I get the same two cards.
Yeah.
What is the underlying lesson or opportunity in the current skies, and what concrete next steps will best align our actions with that lesson and help us build the new systems we're called to create? So, um, yeah, oh, that's one. There's there was almost two. You can read yours while I'm shuffling if you want.
Yeah, I was just
A bunch. Oh my
while
God,
you
you are not going to believe.
the same ones came out.
The first one came out. This I have to shuffle. That's wild.
The same one.
Yes. Yes.
So the first one that came out, what is the underlying lesson or opportunity in the current skies? I have deliverance. Hexagram 40.
Ooh, delivered in a basket.
Right. Thunder above and water below. And then the future, what concrete next steps will best align our actions with that lesson and help us build the new systems we're called to create is 60, limits and connections.
What was your first one?
Deliverance, hexagram 40.
Okay. I like to keep
shifting.
track of what we pull so I can.
Yeah, because
I've
sometimes
never, I
we
don't
pull
think
the
I've
same
ever,
one.
yeah, and I don't think I've ever pulled these two cards before.
That's
Maybe the second one.
exciting. Okay,
My
what?
first one is 28 excess.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so stress, overload, exhaustion, obsessiveness, gluttony, burdens, worries, and the breaking point, which is where we are right now.
Right. That is so accurate. Yes.
Yeah, and then the second one is, oops, I dropped it. Doesn't want to stay in my hand. Number 43, resoluteness.
Ooh,
So
I like that.
determination, no compromises, unwavering focus. That word keeps coming up for us. Inner resolve, integrity, test of character, and self-examination. That would apply to the second part of our question.
Oh, I love that.
So go ahead. I
Yeah,
can't believe I got 28 was the card that came out both times.
that is so wild. Yeah, I
And
don't
I
think I've
just
seen
opened my
those.
book to it without even trying. I just like opened it and there's excess. Look, that's so
Okay,
weird.
that is weird.
All right, I get it. We're supposed to read this card.
It's really excited that we nailed it here.
Yes.
So the energy of the current opportunity and the energy of the basket in the sky, it says for hexagram 40 deliverance, a feeling of clarity and fresh opportunity follows a thunderstorm or any time of extreme tension or obstacles. Says the storm has had the effect of clearing the air and suddenly reducing atmospheric tension. Interesting because our pre-chat was talking about a thunderstorm.
Yep.
This symbolizes that some kind of deliverance is at hand. In the wake of a storm on land, deliverance can appear in the form of a new color and life, which bursts forth in fields and flowers. Following a storm at sea, deliverance could take the form of land itself. So, very much like transporting us, like as we're talking about, yes, turbulence, turmoil, all these things had to exist in order for this next chapter to be so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And we can clearly see it. Great clarity of purpose and renewed vigor can follow the healing of old wounds. All the years that we've been doing these I Ching readings together has been talking about doing that deep inner work, and everyone's been doing it. It's coming up in mainstream, shadow
Mm-hmm.
work, so on and so forth. And following the resolution of a difficult situation, your first priority is to return to normal conditions as quickly as possible. Breathe a sigh of relief, but don't relax completely. Yep. Make a clean sweep of the past and move deliberately. Forgive, forget, and move on to see your fortunes improve. Boom.
That's really great. And it reminds me of a video. It was just a short video that popped up on like I think my Facebook feed or something yesterday, but it was this pretty young guy talking about how like why would you want to let things that didn't happen in your childhood or maybe things you missed out in your childhood determine what you do in your adult life? Like sweep those things, like, all right, acknowledge them. It didn't happen or it did happen, whatever. And that doesn't determine what your path is the rest of your life. Once you realize that you were missing these things, then you can add them in as an adult. It's kind of what you're saying.
You know what's really interesting, and I don't think this is an accident. I was just listening to a podcast discussion. I don't know if this was on the Diary of a CEO or one of those because I listened to just a few. But someone was talking about if we can write and imagine our future, we can rewrite our past. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, there's some benefit to, okay, there's challenges that perhaps you keep reliving and reliving and reliving that you experience your perception from when you were growing up. But whoever was talking, and I can't quote them because I can't remember, but loosely was the practice of rewriting your history to find the purpose in it. So instead
Mm-hmm.
of saying, like, I grew up in squalor conditions and no one loved me and I was passed around, but to say that as a child, was really independent and I learned to love people through my
Mm-hmm.
experiences. And instead of surrounding myself with people, I surrounded myself with nature and learned how to communicate with things that
Yeah.
other people can't. So when you reframe it and rewrite it, not to be completely delusionary.
Right.
But that does something to create to that can
Yeah.
help to change your perspective in your future.
It took me a while to understand what people meant by that. Like you can change your past, but you're not necessarily changing the actual physical events that happen because those are over and you can't change them anyway. But changing your perspective about the past changes you like on an energetic level. Dr. Bruce Lipton would say it changes you on an epigenetic level, a DNA level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It changes how your body responds to the world when you're able to reframe your past. And it does change, plain and simple.
So I think those are important to flag, like especially with this
Mm-hmm.
energy and what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. You want me to
Wow.
read mine? Or do you want
Yeah.
to do your change lines?
I was trying to remember if no, let's do yours. I was trying
Okay.
to remember where we left off.
Um, okay. This says the old I Ching. So this is hexagram number 28. It's lake over fire. Um, The old I Ching text regarding this hexagram used the analogy of a ridgepole that is so overloaded it sags to the breaking point. The overload can be too much of a good thing, or on the other hand, exhaustion from doing too much, like too much doing instead of being.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whether I think this just nails our planet right now. Like I don't
Right.
think I have to read anymore, but anyway.
Yes.
It says whether it's coming from the outside or from within, excess can make you feel like a beast of burden. So many people feel like that. And this is the moment to begin eliminating stress and to understand how it got there in the first place. Undoubtedly, somewhere along the way, you have chosen to ignore your own limitations. Oh my God, I think this is talking to me again. Waking up to the reality now can be disturbing. Up to
Mhm.
this point, you might have adopted a grin and bear it attitude, but now, like it or not, the situation needs to be changed. It's possible that the stresses come from getting caught up in the drive for more and more, whatever that more may be. When we're out of touch with the real needs of the natural self, the mind comes in and takes charge. Its insatiable appetites for fame, money, sex, or power demand to be satisfied no matter the cost to the body and soul. And this mindset is responsible on a larger scale for the ecological devastation that is, in fact, a manifestation of stress on a great scale. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, to relieve stress, the best place to begin is to come back to yourself and take responsibility for how you think and how you act. There's nothing positive about obsessive behavior, and it invariably blinds us to our simple and natural needs. Um,
Mm.
yeah, the key to learning the lessons that lie within a situation of excess is to look in the mirror with unwavering honesty. There is no need for confessions, blame, or shame, and by not attempting to save face, the artificial facade crumbles and all that is extraneous falls away. After all,
Mm.
the weight of all that greed for more can get pretty heavy. Life becomes more energy efficient when we are in touch with our own natural rhythms and needs. And whether you call it meditation, reflection, contemplation, it's vital to take the time to be alone, to see and feel what is true for you in the here and now, what's true for you in the here and now, right? Like when we're so
Yeah.
busy doing and we're so busy being overloaded, we have no clue what's best for us. And what I came to understand is like if I'm so busy, and I'm speaking personally here, like I was so busy fixing and making sure everybody was okay and glossing over, anything that was important to me, really. I was just always out there like being the people pleaser. But um it's it's hard to take care of anybody else if you can't take care of yourself. Like
Yeah.
that's such a cliche saying, but like if I don't know what I want, how the hell do I know what you want?
Yeah.
Like sit down and
Yeah.
be quiet until you figure it out, right? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt when I first started this process of inner reflection. That slapped me in the face. It's
Yeah.
like I got to quit like trying to fix everything because I'm not fixing it. I'm just
Hmm.
probably making it worse. So
Overworking
um,
it.
yeah, excess is basically saying put down some of your burdens. It is not only the I Ching telling you, it's the basket in the sky telling you too.
Yeah.
What is the underlying lesson or opportunity in the current skies? So for me, it's becoming less burdened and getting back to your natural rhythms. For
Hmm.
you,
Hmm.
It was, what was your name of your card again? Not,
Deliverance.
yes. For you,
Hmm.
it was, we got to get through this bumpy patch, putting down all of our burdens so we can be delivered to the next part,
Yeah,
which
this
is
like
having the long
clarity.
connections.
Yeah, the clarity of purpose is really significant as I understand this basket concept too. I think also baskets talk about capacity, but with all the turmoil and the very masculine systems that we lived through in the last period eight, is that we became blind to things that were natural gifts because we just thought they were stupid.
Right.
Because they weren't hard enough. We didn't have to work hard enough to
Mm-hmm.
earn them, that we dismissed them. And a lot of people that I'm talking to in our circles are intuitives and returning to more feminine, emotional, intelligent type of concepts and looking to nature and lightening our grip on trying to control everything or to prove that we're better than everybody by how much we do.
Right. And I think we need to all understand too is when we do loosen our grip on that need to be doing something all the time, fixing, achieving. Once we release our grip on that and we start appreciating nature and just the simple things of like just being with a friend or holding your grandchild, like just the tiny little things that bring you that much joy in the physical world, it will be um, duplicated. Like you will,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's like a saying somewhere out there in the Bible, that says that like the deeper you go within, oftentimes, the more you are rewarded in relationships or physical things or just inner peace. So
Yeah.
we're
I think
being
that's
told
really
this again, and we keep
significant.
being told this over and over and over again.
I think so. It's a good reminder. I do have a lot of change lines. You want me to go ahead and read through them?
Yeah, I've only got one
Okay, so
for a change.
mine, change line five, make sure I'm reading it from the right one. Okay, change line five, letting go of negative influences requires inner resolve and strength of character, which you just said.
Mhm.
Weaker people who have attached themselves to stronger ones are not easily shaken off. The only way to free yourself from unwanted or unnecessary associations is to free yourself from them inwardly first. We were talking about this in our pre-chat.
Mhm.
Sooner or later, these associates will get the message and fall away of their own accord. Tolerating unhealthy relationships for too long brings misfortune. So I know we're in Cancer right now as we're recording this, and that's when this basket is happening. Um, that a lot of people are experiencing relationship tests or reoccurrences, and how you handle them is really important. um,
Mhm.
because it's your chance to change them or you continue in the same cycle. So
But what
whatever.
you said something really important there. You said something about inward. You have to release them inward first.
Yes. Yes. You have to free yourself from them inward first. That's the only
Mhm.
way to free yourself from the unwanted or unnecessary associations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
And
if you have
so,
split energy, if you tell somebody one thing, like I'm done, go away, but inside you're like, oh, I wish they would do this, or I want to help them with this, or if they could only see that, you're not disconnected from them.
yeah. And
And
I think the
there's that.
hardest part is that because we were talking about rewriting our past, you can also do that in unhealthy ways when you disconnect from someone or a group. Is, well, you remember the good things or rewrite it as this didn't happen.
Mhm.
Don't gaslight yourself in that process. Like that's the
Yes,
hardest thing.
it is literally walking a razor's edge because it's so easy
Mhm.
to fall into those types of mental states of like either gaslighting yourself or being a narcissist to yourself. Like it's so easy. So again, call us if you need to talk.
Yes, yeah, or join us in the next I Ching reading.
Yeah.
It says in periods of stagnation, relationships may be formed on the basis of a convenience. So it's easier to be in a relationship that's unhealthy or a group that's unhealthy for you. Just because you're used to it, it's convenient. You don't want to be alone because, as we just said, being alone requires you to find happiness and a healthy relationship with yourself instead of
Mm-hmm.
trying to fill your void with something just to have that placeholder, or going back to things that aren't a fit for you. Okay, but when important action is required, only the able and trustworthy can be counted on to perform well. Free yourself from the entanglements of random relationships of low value. Good fortune comes from intentionally associating with people of talent and integrity. In times of great opportunity, such as this,
Mm-hmm.
opportunity or crisis, it is better to have a weak person as an enemy than an ally. Ooh,
Mm.
those are
That's true.
important.
You don't want a weak ally.
Right, exactly. And like, why do you give that power to someone who's weak as someone who just is an enemy to you? Few words are needed. The recent obstacles are being overcome. Now there is peace, so just recuperate and relax. This is a good time to simply be still. Ooh, so that's
Wow.
good. That's really good.
That is really good. Um, so again, we're being told to be still, to go inward, right?
That's the
And
recipe, right?
I think why your card is saying that is because truly the only reason you can reduce, the only way I should say, you can reduce stress, overload, exhaustion, obsessiveness, gluttony, burdens, worries, and get to your breaking point is if you go inward.
Hmm.
If you do go inside of your mind and your heart and you understand like where is this all coming from? How did it start? Why am I like this? Right?
Yeah, you're right. There is a Bible verse, and I don't not as connected to that as you are more recently, but there is something about there's purpose in trials and tribulations because it brings you to your knees so that you can
Mm-hmm.
pray or in,
Right.
meditate or reflect on your purpose and why these things happen so that you can transform.
Yes.
So I don't know what that, but there is like a line that's pretty famous about the turbulence being necessary to bring you to your knees. Yeah,
Yeah.
deliverance, my friends. But so tell me about your change line.
Well, my one change line is the first line, the
Oh,
bottom line.
the inner work.
So the complete inner work. Um, and also, it's like when I look at the hexagram, it's the very bottom line on the hexagram. So it's the beginning, it's the foundation of
Mhm.
everything, especially for the lower three lines. But anyway, so line one says sometimes a breaking point comes because of an accumulation of a number of small actions or decisions rather than one overwhelming or obsessive passion. If you can look deeply into the details of how you've been spending your time and energy lately, it might reveal a larger pattern that was not apparent to you before.
Ooh,
So, again, look deeply into the details of what you're spending your time and energy on. In order to do that, you have to sit still and go inside and actually go, okay, what do I do all day? And how do I
how can
feel
I
when I'm,
contribute to this?
and how do I feel after I'm done doing what I'm doing? Does it lift me up? Do I feel exhausted? Do I feel like I'm overloaded? Did it stress me out? Or did it do those opposite things? That's
Mm,
what you have to be honest with yourself. And maybe it's things that you have to do. Like maybe there's just things you have to do right now in your life, like, you know,
yeah. You
take
know,
care of
that
certain
made
things.
me, I heard very loudly, you have to lose yourself to find yourself.
You do.
Especially if you've been living in a facade for a long time or in like keep up mode or
I have a picture down in my yoga room that I have in my house, and I've had it for years. I just got it because I thought it was cool, and I was like, I know it. I know it means something, but I didn't fully understand it. But it says, "Lose your mind, find your soul."
ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a picture of this woman. It's just like her
Mhm.
face, but she's got like a hat with a bunch of flowers and butterflies coming out of her
I love
hat.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's this era of period nine and age of Aquarius is getting out of our heads and into our heart-centered soul. I'm looking to use that for our forward society, everything that
Right.
we're creating.
And
Yeah.
now here we were talking about this last week too. It's like there's nothing wrong with the masculine energy.
Right. Right.
Nothing at
Right.
all.
Right.
Again, it's just in excess right now. It's just we're
Super in
overloaded
excess.
with it. I love me some good masculine energy. Don't get me wrong.
Sure. Yeah.
But we're just talking about balancing it with that feminine energy so that we can make important decisions, not only just with our logical minds, but also with our, with our hearts and our souls,
Yeah.
having a little bit of a
It
say.
applies to the women and the men who are listening, the masculine and feminine that we've been allowed or limited in um
Right.
expressing, because I don't think we've ever been or we haven't been allowed to live in full feminine nature.
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, not that I can remember.
Mm-mm.
So just imagine the untapped potential that is there. I mean, obviously it'll need to be counterbalanced, keep things in check,
Mm-hmm.
because too much innocence and play and of that softness
Right.
will create no form.
Right. The feminine energy provides the respite. It provides the love. It provides the rebuilding time, right? And then
Mhm.
once you spend time in that feminine energy and you figure some things out, then you can go out into the world and create good. But if
Mhm.
you're not trying to purposely balance, where you're operating from, which standpoint am I yang? Am I out in the world just yonging it up, or am I yin?
Yogging it up.
Am I yonging it up, or am I yinning it down? Right? Like
Yeah.
we got to do both. So,
Um, just want to put a pinpoint in this recording so that we remember to talk about it next time. But I was listening to a scientist from the CERN um, studies,
hmm.
and he actually he's Indian. I don't know his name, but he's been doing a lot of talks about his experience working with CERN, and that he's always related math and science to poetry, so much so that when he was very young, he worked with coding and then he shifted more into science. But he found a connection between his equations. And so he wrote them like how he does in his, I forget what the Indian writing is, but poetically. And
Hmm.
so there's when you combine systems like that, yin and yang, it creates breakthroughs. And as they hypothesize with CERN, a molecule can create what I don't know the right word for it, but like a black hole.
Well,
Um,
it was a black. I think they did
yeah,
make some
yeah.
kind
So
of
there's some
when
kind
they
of
collided those two particles together.
yes,
Yeah, it was a problem.
yes. So there's, who knows? But there's more outward talks about combining systems of yin and yang and the benefits of it, science and mysticism, and um,
Hmm.
there and the languages with the numbers. So
Well, so my first certification was with you in BTB Feng Shui, which
yes,
is very esoteric. And I
yes,
love it. Like that was
yeah,
right up my alley, right? I
yeah.
love that so much. And then I got a second certification in pyramid, which truly is the psychological version of all feng shui, I think. But it
Mhm.
explains to you why these things that we do in BTB scientifically work.
Mhm.
Um, Connie Spurl is one of the owners of that school, and she would always tell me, like, this is scientific feng shui. Like,
Mhm.
you can't argue with this. It's written and, it's like it's hardcore science. It just
Yeah.
bolsters all the other versions of it because it explains for thousands of years, we're using feng shui and, it got poo pooed on a lot, I think, because people didn't understand it and they thought it was just a bunch of weird people, like trying to create something that wasn't there. But really, there is scientific basis in everything we
Yes.
do in feng shui.
Yeah, it's so true. I love there's so many studies out there now, and a lot of them are European, but there is the biophilic design in the US that also has
Mm-hmm.
started white papers and quantifying and qualifying a lot of things that have ethereal, intuitive basis.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
so this
amazing.
is all happening at a perfect time leading up to this era. My future energy is so simple, like this just put a bow on it. It says limits are necessary to channel energy, guide purpose, and lend direction to life. There you go. It said what
I
concrete
love it.
next steps will align our actions with that lesson and help us build the new systems we are called to create. It says a key to a successful life is to select your limits consciously and carefully and to be discriminating in the setting of personal boundaries, but also knowing when to fly in formation. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So considering your decisions of alliances, that's one way that you can create limitations. For in choosing one path, you have to choose another, leave another one behind. So if it's time for you to leave a group, leave a group. If you're in a group, maybe you're flying information coming out of this. It says even limitations must be limited in effort to bring order and direction to your life, to avoid choking off vital sources of enthusiasm and spontaneity. So again, balancing the yin and the yang and the bringing order and the play. And I think it's interesting that it talks about groups and organizations. So I think concrete next steps are don't stay aligned in relationships just out of comfort and
Mm-hmm.
repetition. Be really mindful of those that you're choosing to associate with and align with right now because we're this bushel basket coming out of it, flying information towards whatever
Mm-hmm.
this new systems that we're called to create. And I think that means being in spaces and places where you can say, I'm naturally very good at this, so good at it, in fact, that it just feels stupid that no one else is doing it.
Yeah, that I'm hearing more and more people kind of say those things like they think what they're creating or doing is really meaningless because to them it's so easy to do and create. And to me, I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
can't do and create
but
what they're
instead,
doing.
everybody feels a lack. I see it all the time in Feng Shui where people are like, I'm not ready to have clients. I feel like I need to take this course again and again and again and
Oh
learn
my
another and
gosh,
blah, blah.
every single, yeah.
When in fact, they're actually fully prepared and
Well, I
very
was the same way.
intuitively. Yeah,
And you
well,
told
yes,
me,
you,
Michelle, you probably know 90, more than 90% of the people out there. So,
yes. And I
yeah.
still have time to chat, by the way. We can keep going into yours, but I wanted to say before, we close out our time today is that and I see this in working with you too, especially in our algorithm. You are every bit qualified to teach what we're teaching because you've lived that experience. It doesn't come from a book. And you don't
Right.
need, I mean, you do have the credentials and you do have the readings and you do have the associations. It's um, I, I think that applies also to me in some ways too, but you don't need to qualify um, your ability or
Hmm.
your certifications in order to teach something that came from your creation. We've been doing this for over 2 years. So
Hmm.
that very like that's your
Well, I
certification.
appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you saying
Yes.
that.
Yes, I mean, amazing. When you guys, one day, if you get to be taught by Michelle and you hear her journey in full, it will ignite you and change you in very positive ways.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. I hope that's what would happen.
It's coming. Yeah,
It is. I
stay
am.
tuned.
Yeah, I'm teaching.
So
We're gonna be teaching soon.
we're going to be teaching it.
All right. So my last card is 43, which is resoluteness. And it says, however many rivers you've already crossed, a time will arrive when your tenacity and inner resolve are again put to the test. This can seem terribly disheartening and exhausting, and they threaten to destroy your sense of progress. You may feel as if you're in a confrontation with a brick wall. as the hurdles that seemed insignificant before appear insurmountable now. The tension is exacerbated by weakened resolve and the fear of making foolish decisions that could undermine what is being accomplished. When you find yourself in a crisis where everything seems to be at the point of breakdown, avoid reacting aggressively, getting defensive, or trying to combat the problems head on. Like being caught in quicksand, the more you struggle, the more you'll be sucked in.
Ooh.
So again, I have a feeling this is going to say, stay calm and go inside. Surviving difficult challenges depends upon your ability to stay centered, focused, and as calm as possible. So you can't do any of those things if you're just always out in the world yawning it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have your rebuilding time, refocusing time, regenerative time. It says trying to restore harmony and at the same time avoid extremes of attitude or behavior can feel like taming wild animals that are running in every direction at once. Nevertheless, what is really at issue is more subtle than you think. Can you remain uncompromisingly focused on your goal? Take time to examine what has been motivating you and weed out any half truths or grandiose and egotistic ideas you may have been harboring. Looking for the quickest way out of a bad situation isn't necessarily going to help and may actually divert you from the step by step work of taking responsibility for your actions. I just think the I Ching says the same thing in every card almost. It's like, um, take responsibility for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
um, go within and um, create good.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you can't create good unless you do those first two things.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it does say be as creative as possible and stay very alert while plotting a course through this minefield of difficulties. Only by deeply trusting in yourself and the power of intuitive guidance can you find a resolution. And I think what that is pointing to is that this new era of living that we're entering into on this planet, like it's not going to just be like, oh, everyone's going to think this way and now we're all going to be hunky dory.
Sunshine, butterflies,
There's
and
going,
rainbows.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of upheaval. There's going to be a lot of obstacles and people not wanting to come along for the ride. So it's just saying, remember what your goal is, remember where we're going, stay resolute, stay calm, and stay centered.
Mm-hmm. Yes, those are good concrete next steps. It also says in my Paul O'Brien book, it says, um, do not compromise with corruption. So
Mm.
there, the corruption being brought to light anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
personally or in the world.
Yep.
Um, so focusing again on positive alternatives. So don't think as low as to what you're seeing. You cannot
Right.
stop the spreading of lies by spreading more of them. By adding
Nope.
to the positive elements in any situation, you automatically diminish the bad.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's all really good.
One thing I've been saying to my kids lately, and that I also have heard some friends saying in their relationships, what I've been saying to my kids is there's a way to, you know, if they're complaining, so and so is, being a bully to me or blah, blah, blah. So instead of rehashing and recapping all the bad things, or okay, say the bad things that happen, but then say three good things that happen to cancel that out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so it does, I understand we have to vent sometimes, but then, immediately following that, okay, let's talk about three or five things
Mm-hmm.
that you're so grateful for or that are wonderful that happen.
I think that's a great practice because it makes you, excuse me, I just had the hiccups. It makes you realize that where your attention goes, energy flows. Because you might, like, one of your kids comes home and vents about something that happened at school, and then you make them say five things that happened really good today. And they're like, that bad thing doesn't even sound that bad anymore because
Yes.
they're not focused on it.
Yes. Yeah. I learned that from their childhood psychologist, and she related it to like weather, like what's your what's your stormy cloud, what's your sun, what's your rainbow kind of
Oh, yeah.
concept. Yeah, but I know the goddess mins, the relationship, I don't know what they are, counselors that wrote all those books about love and relationships and marriage and partnerships. They also have a practice similar to that. And the concept is when you retell, not retelling or rewriting or whatever, but it rewires your perspective so that you don't get into the attacking mode of like, you did this
Hmm.
to me, you did that to me.
It's kind of like what you were talking about earlier with childhood, reframing your
Mhm.
childhood.
Yeah, so I think these are all tools that we can use in addition to I Ching and these types of discussions and podcasts and looking to the stars that we can use to be able to feel confident in using our super easy powers that we've been
Hmm.
dismissing for so long
Hmm.
to live better.
And like we can tell you these, like we, Lisa and I can sit here and tell our listeners these things all day long, but we all have free will. And unless you decide that you're going to try it, like we're not telling you what to do, we're just offering suggestions and things that
Mhm.
we have lived through ourselves, right? Here's what we've done, here's what we've experienced. So, like, you could use your free will and just stay stuck in your pattern and still stay, confused or miserable, whatever you're experiencing. Or you could just try to do some of these things we're suggesting and just see what happens.
Or maybe there's something else we haven't even considered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's taking that time to find it to for yourself instead of succumbing to the quicksand that you described and
Right. Finding your
struggling
own, we're
against that.
just, like you said, we're just giving signposts. We're just giving signals like, try this, try this. Like, you might find something completely different that works for
Mhm.
you than for me. And that's fine too. But as long as it's raising your vibration and you're feeling more positive and you're interacting on a more loving basis in the world, you're obviously doing something right. And that's not something you can fake. You can't
Mhm.
fake it.
Can't fake that. Can't
You
fake it.
can fake it, but you just feel worse.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Speaking from experience.
Yes. Well, this has been wonderful, all in perfect timing. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next time because I think the next time we meet, we'll be out of retrograde, Mercury in retrograde.
That'll be
So
interesting. Yeah.
that will be interesting. And I think we'll be in Leo time, right? So that'll be fun
Hmm.
for us as air signs, but
Hmm.
more into the visibility coming out from hiding and being emotional as emotional.
Right. Not
Yeah,
quite as emotional.
not quite as emotional, maybe in a different way. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
good.
This was wonderful. Thank you for taking the time to do this with me, Lisa. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
finding time with me. I know you have a busy day ahead of you, but hopefully this we both are going to follow up the rest of our day now, having done this work.
With a
We'll go
better
get, yeah,
mindset, like with a
yeah,
different way to look at things. Yeah.
yeah. The people around us will appreciate
I
it.
hope so.
Yes. Well, thanks everybody for listening to us. Wherever you found us, let us know. Follow the links in the description for more content from us and stay tuned because as we've alluded to, we do have a course in development that we'll be offering and invitations, more invitations to you to join us. As always, if you want to participate with us, we'd love to have you as a guest. No experience required. Bring whatever modality you wish, as a matter of fact, to
Mhm.
mash up with us. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.